Hey guys, it's Edwin here, and today we are going to talk about some of the positive lessons you can take after leaving a toxic relationship. A toxic relationship will leave you feeling so depleted, emotionally drained, traumatized, low in confidence, as well with other range of uncomfortable emotions. You will question how someone you cared for so much could do such terrible things to you. And once you leave, you will also come to the realization that your abusive ex was just using you for their own selfish needs, and the thing they promised you in the beginning of the relationship was just lies to hook you in. You will even blame yourself for what the relationship turned out to be, and you will even try to justify your role in the failure of the relationship. And that's what normally happens when a toxic relationship ends. And we may even feel that we failed as a person. Like, oh, I failed. I should have done better. I should have done this. We look at these failures a negative thing, and at times it might even cripple us from living life or from even moving forward. And today, like, I like to explore some of the positive and valuable lessons we can learn after being in a toxic relationship. The first positive lesson we can take after leaving a toxic relationship is that we'll now understand that boundaries are healthy. A toxic relationship begins when someone steps on what you cannot tolerate, what you stand for, and what you value. And when you are in that toxic relationship, you probably lower your boundaries so that you can meet the never ending needs of your partner. You overstretch and even sacrifice your values as you try to make them happy. You might like have stopped going to church or have stopped doing the things you love because you wanted just to make them happy. And one lesson you can take is that you are not supposed to allow someone to take control over you and work over you. You will learn that you've got to set and uphold healthy boundaries in your life and walk away if someone tries to step on those boundaries. You will just like deeply understand that these boundaries are there to protect you and to protect your mental well being. Another lesson you will gain after being in a toxic relationship is that you will gain new perspectives about life, especially something you might have overlooked in the past. We are all conditioned, and most of our life choices are dependent on what the environment we are in and our upbringing. It will feed us with ideas of what a relationship or love is supposed to be. But once you've been in a toxic relationship, you will now understand that other people can exploit your kindness for their selfish needs. You will also understand that you can't change someone who's not willing to change. Because before you always thought that you can change other people, but after being in that relationship, you can now understand that you can't change someone who's not willing to change. In the past, you might have also overlooked things like verbal abuse, emotional abuse as just nothing. But a toxic relationship will now provide you with a clear picture of the extent verbal abuse can go in affecting your mental health. You will also understand that pleasure and lust will not make a relationship last long. And your idea of love is probably flawed. You'll also like understand that your idea of what you call love is probably flawed. You'll just have these questions that challenge the common norms or that challenge the things you thought you know about relationships, love, and life in itself. So these questions will provide you with new perspective of how to view life. Another positive lesson you will get from being in a toxic relationship is that you will easily identify red flags. After being in a toxic relationship, you will have like first hand experience of the early warning signs that a relationship will turn out to be toxic. You will understand that a guy who love bombs you crazily in the beginning, who isolates you from friends, who might sling their ex or complains about everything, is not the kind of guy or girl you'd want to have a relationship with. You will be able to accurately spot the red flags far away and save yourself from the pain of investing into another toxic relationship. Like being in a toxic relationship is more of an eye opener so that you can identify these early warning signs and spare yourself from future emotional distress. So, a toxic relationship will open your eyes to something you didn't know about before. A toxic relationship will also make you more resilient. A toxic relationship will literally like push you to the limit. It will push your emotions to the limit, your physical capacity to the limit, and your mental capacity to the limit. It tests all your capacities as a human being as you keep trying and trying to make them happy and to provide for their selfish needs. And you faced instances where you thought you not pull through, and it has brought forth some strength you never knew you had. Because they tried to break you, but you still rose up and faced those daily challenges. That's why once you get out of that relationship and heal, you will find it much easier to deal with life challenges or face any kind of adversity. You will also like find it easy to deal with other difficult people in your life because you feel that you've dealt with far much worse. So it will just enable you to learn about your strengths and become more resilient when it comes to facing tough challenges in life. Another lesson you will pick after being in a toxic relationship is that you will now understand that you need to prioritize your own needs and your own self-care. A toxic relationship is a place where you will sacrifice your own needs and self-care for the sake of other people. You will keep giving and giving without any reciprocation from your partner. And you will, of course, deny yourself some of the things you love doing as you prioritize the needs of your partner. You will keep doing this till you get to the point where you feel so drained that you don't even have that energy to provide anymore. So you'll keep giving and giving till you get to the point where you can't give anymore because you are so depleted. And that's the point where you will realize that there's a limit to what you can give and there's a limit to what you can keep giving and giving. You will now understand that you should always prioritize your own self-care and mental well-being in front of someone else's. This toxic relationship will also show you that if you leave your own self-care in the hands of another person, you will always be frustrated and not everyone will reciprocate what you do for them. So it will just tell you that, hey, even if you give to someone else, they may not reciprocate. And the first thing to do is to first provide for yourself. Like you can't provide from an empty well. Another positive lesson you can draw from being in a toxic relationship is you'll understand what you want in a relationship. A toxic relationship will expose you to the dark side of relationships, like the darkest side. It will expose you to some of the undesirable behaviors and actions you don't want from a partner. You will know the kind of partner you don't want, and this insight will open the door for you to know the kind of partner you want. You will understand that you want a supportive partner, someone who listens to you, and not someone who's full of themselves. This is because you've experienced and seen the opposite of what you don't want. And so you can pick that lesson and now understand the kind of relationship you look for in future. So you've seen the dark side. So now you want the opposite of this dark side. This will open you to this will open your insight to understanding the kind of relationship you want in the future. The last lesson you can get after being in a toxic relationship is that you will understand and value the importance of healing. A toxic relationship exposes our deep insecurities, weaknesses, and fears. This is because a toxic person will exploit our inadequacies so that they can meet their own needs. They will prey on some of our unresolved traumas, and being in it will give you insight on what your inner world looks like. It will teach us that if we don't resolve our deep hearts, there's always someone out there who's always waiting to take advantage of what we've not healed from. We will recognize that it's our responsibility to heal from our past hurts so that we can be in loving alignment with our present self, so that we can feel adequate and whole. You will understand that healing is a very, very important piece if you want to cultivate healthy relationships in our lives. There are just many lessons we can learn after being in a toxic relationship, but all these depend on the perspective you want to take. We can stay stuck by wanting to learn more about them, or we can grow and learn about our inadequacies, insecurities, and weaknesses. It's not the best place to be for sure, and we all wish that it would have turned out to be this beautiful thing. But just like everything in life, we can never change the past, and the only key we have is the one that opens doors to our future. And you are the one who holds that key. The relationship was toxic, but it is also a compass of our inner emptiness and deep insecurities. That's why you can take what you've learned and explore your inner world instead of looking for another relationship. Instead of trying to jump to another relationship and escape from what's happening inside, you can just take that as a lesson and explore your inner world. That's why, like, if you've left a toxic relationship, you can challenge yourself and say that I've experienced the worst relationship. Let me not settle for the not so bad. Let me now work on getting that healthy relationship, which will be very, very awesome for me. Like, you can vow to never settle for less and go all the way in trying to understand what love is and discovering your authentic self. You can even choose to tear everything down, like, and question everything you know about relationships, question everything you know about love, or all those common social norms, and try to build a strong foundation in life which stems from your wholeness and from your authentic self. Instead of just patching things up with another relationship or with another not so bad person, you look at the end of that relationship as a beginning of a lifelong spiritual journey where you find yourself. So instead of just jumping into another relationship which is not so bad, you decide that enough is enough with me settling for these kind of mediocre kind of relationships. Let me now find myself first before even finding another relationship. You have the key to do that. That's it from me today, guys. Hope you found this motivational. Until next time, see ya.